of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And yes, it's the transfer show. I've got Roly on me, but before I get to that, just some quick breaking news there. If anybody is going to watch the game at 12:30 between Manchester City and Liverpool, Erling Haaland is out. There you go. So Erling Haaland out. He's failed to recover in time for the game. Anyway, how are you, Roly?
Sorry, my other half's read and she heard your news. She's going, yes.
There you go then. So somebody's happy then.
Yeah. Well, all the viewers must be happy because my mic's off during the intro because I sing along and my singing, oh dear. It'll wreck your eardrums.
Yeah, exactly. Andrew's in the chat and he says, good morning, Andrew. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, so I just thought I'd bring that out anyway, that bit of breaking news that just literally broke as the intro was on. But if you like what you see, then please smash the like. It really does help the channel up the search results. So smash those likes either during the show or on your way out. It just takes 1 second. Just push that thumbs up. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Great to do so. Helps the channel grow. And the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. So I'm currently sitting on 457 subscribers. So that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. And also, if you want to make a donation to the channel, there is a link in the chat. Just click the link and follow the instructions. And got another comment there. Andrew says, and last time I got wrong for being late. Yes, don't be late. You're not late this time. You were early this morning, so we'll let you off, Andrew. It's better to be early, though, than late.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless it's to your death. Rather be late to the death.
Yeah, but no. But yeah, all in all, there's nothing wrong with just being that little bit too early, is there? So you can. It's always better to be early than it is to be late. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, so as I say, it's the transfer show. So we're just going to have a look at some players. Again, more rumours of players that have been linked to our club. And so it's just a look at see who's being linked. And again, probably by the end of the summer, we're probably going to be linked to about 2,000 players and all in all, but you can only have 25 in a 25-man squad. So unless they're all youngsters, and then of course it's unlimited, isn't it? But we certainly don't want to be having a triple-decker bus like Chelsea have to have to get their players around. So let's hope anyway. So the first player I'm going to go to now. This player is newly linked to the club. Not only linked with us, but also Arsenal have checked him out as well. And I believe PSG have looked at him. Now, you may not know a lot about him, but I'll just quickly go back into these. Andrew says, that's not what she said, lol. And Gary says, good morning, lads. Good morning to you. Gary D, I hope you're well, mate. So a player that a lot of people probably don't know a lot about but I'm certainly going to go into some stats about him, and let's see. So the guy in question is this man on screen, and that is Ismail Decore. Now, you've probably not really heard a lot about him. He plays for Strasbourg in France in Ligue 1, and he plays as a centre half, but he can play right back as well. He's played in both positions this season. Now, he's 19 years of age. He's got a contract till 2026. He's 5'11". He's right-footed. Now, we are in search for a right-footed centre-half, so this guy fits the bill. But the fact that he can play there or right back is even better because his versatility is there. So I'll go through stats what he's done this season. He's played 16 out of 18 games this season, but he started anyway. He's got 1 goal. He's got 1 assist. Now, his accurate passing per game is 82%. Bearing in mind this lad's only 19 years of age, so he's got a long way to go in the game, and he's a long way before his peak. His defending is they've got 3 clean sheets this season. He has at least 1 interception per game, 1.7 tackles per game, and clearances per game is 1.8, so nearly 2 clearances per game. Errors led to a shot, none. Errors led to a goal, none, and no penalties conceded. He's 65% with successful dribbles, but he's got no outstanding weaknesses and no outstanding strengths. Now, most of his games being played on the right, but he does, like I say, he's predominantly a centre half now. And this is the thing: the player value is actually at it's 17 million. 17 million, 1.9 million euros. But I think it'll be a bit more than that. To be fair, you're probably looking at about 50. I reckon 15 million probably. I mean, Roly, does he tick boxes for you?
Oh, you say he's 19? He's 19, yeah?
Yes.
The major concern if his centre half is 19. He's still got a little bit time to grow a bit more because it's a bit of a short half compared to the rest of our centre halves. He's almost a foot shorter than Dan Burr.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you say his actual value is about 1.5 million at the moment.
1.9 million euros. That's what they say. It's about $1.5 million. Yeah.
Yeah. And what is it? Strasbourg? Did you say?
Strasbourg in France. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know where they are in the French league? They're towards the bottom.
I can quickly tell you, Roly, where they are. Yeah. Strasbourg. I think they're about mid-table, if memory serves me. Mm-hmm. But remember, this guy's only 19, so
Yeah.
And if Arsenal's been looking at him, PSG, there's obviously something about him, and he's in the French under-21 squad, under-20 squad. Sorry, not under-21s.
I'm not so worried about PSG and Arsenal scouting, because if we're scouting him, he must be good or have the potential. As a development player, it could be someone that could come in and learn under Fabian Schär, like Ashby will do under Kieran Trippier.
Strasbourg are 15th.
15th, so they're at the bottom end of the
5 points above the relegation zone.
Yeah. So I think your guess at 10 million is a bit high. I would be looking to get him around about that 5 million mark. As a developer, anywhere between the sort of they'd be looking to pay the same sort of money that we paid for Harrison Ashby, but because he's been playing first team football, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah,
a lot. He's probably he wouldn't walk into our team. He's more for as a development project. Mm-hmm. So you don't want to be paying too much. His stats look fine. So he's under 20 international, so he's obviously got some ability about him. I'm not seeing him play. I have heard that we've been linked to him. But like I said, not seen him play, and only know the stats that Tony's just told us about. But as a development project, he's right-footed, can play centre half or right back. We're looking for players that can multitask. That seems to be the sort of way that the recruitment's going at the moment. We play two positions well. I'd be looking at him at centre half potentially, but yeah, it's an interesting one. So I don't know too much about him, but when you look at the quality of the players that we've added since our new regime took charge, I have great difficulty doubting anybody they're looking at, even the ones that people don't fancy, like Mr. McTominay. Because I mean, before Eddie came, everybody would have sold Joel Linton for about £2.50, and look at him now. Can he do the same with the likes of McTominay? I don't see why not. If he's got the right attitude and wants to learn, he could rise. I mean, look at the players. Fabian Schär couldn't get a game under the previous manager. He's been our second best centre half this season, and that's only because Botman's been so outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we need depth in the squad. So I've not seen the guy play, so I don't know how he would rank compared to someone like Jamal Lascelles, who's obviously the fourth place centre half. If he's 19, he won't count towards our 25-man squad, so that's a bonus, especially if he's playing at a level where he could be on the bench. It means we can have that bigger squad because the player doesn't count towards the 25-man squad, but can play. But as a depth piece, it could be an interesting signing.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's just another name that's been linked, another one that's been thrown in there by the media. But and at 19, remember as well, he doesn't take up a Premier League squad place, so he can have him on the bench, even if you've got your 25-man squad, and he can still be a bench player, and he can still come off and do a job. So at the end of the day, it's another one that you haven't got to worry about. Oh, hang on, now a 25-man list. We've got to be careful because he doesn't have to go on that list. So it all works in our favour. Now, the next player I'm going to come to is this man here. Now, again, probably a lot of people don't know much about him. His name is Beto, and he's 6'4". He's Portuguese. He's a striker, and he's been linked with us for the reason being is because it's a replacement sort of for Chris Wood. Now, so obviously he's not going to be a starter, but he's going to be more probably a bench player. Now, this guy is at Udinese in Italy. 6'4". As I say, he's 25. Now, he's got no outstanding strengths, but his weaknesses, he's got 3 weaknesses: ball control, ground duels, and passing. Now, he's played 27 games, but started 19 of those. He's been in Team of the Week twice in Italy. He's got 9 goals and 1 assist. His accurate passing per game is 66%, unfortunately. But overall, his goal ratio is a 1-3. That's not bad for somebody like that. But apparently, they're saying this guy could be as good as Osimhen. I don't know because I haven't seen him play. I don't know. But I'm not 100% sure. He's 25 now. Apparently, Everton did want him, but Udinese are looking for £30 million for Beto.
How much are they looking for, sorry, Tony?
For 30 million.
30.
So, Alec, 30 million, yes. So basically, Newcastle looking at them because they're thinking, one, somebody to replace Chris Wood. Two, because of Callum Wilson's form has took a nosedive since the World Cup. So that's why they're sort of looking at that. But I haven't heard a lot of him, but they're saying he's deemed similar to Victor Osimhen and Balogun. But he would be back up to Alexander Isak. I'm not sure on this one because I don't watch Italian football.
No,
but you know, if anybody in the comments watch Italian football and seen this guy play, then please let us know. But I'm not sure. But you know, do you know much about him? Because I don't.
No.
Other than what the stats I've gave you.
If he's been likened to Osimhen, I'm sure a lot more people would have heard of him because Osimhen is sensational. The thing that worried me is his weaknesses: ball control, retention, and passing. If you're going to play a striker like Chris Wood or Callum Wilson, their ball control, ball retention, and passing are key to how you play with them. So that's a big red flag for me at the moment. Whether he can improve, I mean, I've not seen him, so I don't know how bad it is. But if it's been flagged as a weakness, it's something that occurs quite regularly, and that concerns me. So it's if Eddie wants him, I'm happy with that, but it does concern me. I mean, we don't know how true the links are, for one thing. But as you said, we're going to be linked with anybody that can put a pair of boots on in the summer. It's going to be even worse than last summer or the 1st January window. Everyone's going to be linked with us. But does he just play centre forward? Can he play any other position?
No, just up top.
Just up top. I mean, because you look at the players that we're buying, you look at Isak can play anywhere across the front three. Gordon can do the same. Right, Botman's an out-and-out centre half, but a lot of the players that we're looking at, even you look at Marcus Thuram, he can play up top or on the left. There's some positions, obviously, like at CDM, which is pretty much state, but on the attacking front, we're looking for players that are flexible, can play more than one role. I don't know where the link came from, but I'm skeptical.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame John wasn't in the chat because I'm sure he would tell how good or bad this guy really is, because obviously he knows he's Italian football. He watches Serie A week in, week out, which it's not everybody's cup of tea, Serie A, to be fair. But he would know. But to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure on him.
From what you've
and I'm sure we could get better out there, in all honesty.
Yeah, and the price again is a worry. 25. Yeah. At 25, if he's a striker with that sort of scoring rate, 30 million, really?
Well, apparently he's on loan at Udinese, but there's obviously an obligation there that would be signing him in the summer. But then, obviously, if an offer came in, they wouldn't let him go. So, to me, it stinks a bit, because I just look at that and think, well, hang on a minute. So you're hoping that if you sign him on permanent, then you'll just flog him on in the summer for a better rate so you can get more money for him, how much ever they're paying for him, because I don't know. But to me, I'm not sure about that. And in all honesty, I hope it's a no-goer.
It doesn't pass the smell test.
No, it doesn't, no. I'll just grab some comments here. Niall says, Tony boy, good morning, Niall, hope you're well. Gary says, did any of you see the Toon Review show last night? Paul had one of his rants aimed at John for saying things on Twitter like, hello, my Man U family was not happy, Bunny. No, I haven't seen it.
I've not heard that.
No, not at all. But
He
we'll have to
doesn't
have a
help
look.
himself.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't. Not with the Man U stuff. Especially not. No disrespect to John. He's a nice guy, but at the end of the day, we have a massive hatred towards Man United as much as we do with Sunderland. And the thing is, when you, I mean, John scored himself an own goal, and he understood that when I told him this as well. That like on the day of the Carabao Cup final, he tagged all his Man United friends in, and then he's done it again yesterday. And I think when it's coming up to a Man U match, he should just not, or even like I've said to him in the past, why don't you just DM the people if you want to speak to them or have them on a group chat and just do it privately? But John is John, and that's what it is at the end of the day. Peter Tyson, good morning. He
Just had
says,
an idea
Beto.
I'll talk to you about after the show.
Yeah. Alan says, morning, guys. Mr. Sinclair is a man to ask. Absolutely. He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff about Serie A. That's the thing with John. He's very good with Serie A.
Yeah.
Niall says, Roly boy, the voice of reason.
Thanks, Niall.
Alan says, Isak is a country man, looks rather good. Anderson, yeah, he does. I mean, I tell you what, Isak's done really well, hasn't he? And the fact he's had 144 minutes for Sweden, and he's come back injury free, which is great. And it's those 144 extra minutes he's got in the tank, which makes it even better coming into this game against Man United. So even better.
I mean,
Andrew says,
sorry, I was just going to say we've been unfortunate with his injuries because he's missed 4 months of the season. And you look how he's playing now. Where would we be if he hadn't picked up that injury with Sweden?
Yeah.
He's a real difference maker.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Andrew says Gary John seems a nice, friendly guy. I'm sure there's nothing in it. Just same as the two lads on the screen. Nice, friendly chaps. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, I don't think there is any. I don't think there is. I just think it just at times John puts that shout out for them.
He doesn't think about his core audience all the time. That's why he's thinking all the tweet to the Man U it's Man U family. In all intents and purposes, there's nothing wrong about that, having a set of Man U fans and calling your family. But if you have a team-specific YouTube channel, you can't be seen being all pally with other teams, especially when you're about to play them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's bad enough that we're playing today, but we're being Man U down there with Sunderland in the eyes of Newcastle fans. And for some reason, he doesn't. Well, I shouldn't be ranting on about John because he is a nice guy. I do like him. I do go on his shows, but it's as I said to him the other day. Think about your core audience and what they will think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice lad. He knows his Italian football. He's knowledgeable about Newcastle. He's got Man United friends, and people love to take the piss out of him being a Man U fan.
I think he loves it when people keep calling him a red, and he'll go, "I'm not a red. I'm not a red," and it's like,
he must do because he does it so often.
He just makes me laugh at times. John does. Yeah. He really does. Hi, Tony Roly and all says coffee. Hi to you, coffee.
Hi, coffee.
I hope you're well. Alan says I wasn't mean Isak, his fellow Swede Jay Anderson. I don't know a lot about him, to be fair.
Didn't he score one of the goals?
I think he did, yes.
The game against Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan, yeah, the 1-5-0. Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
It's got at least
he may be a good prospect. Niall says, big Johnny boy. Andrew says, exactly, Roly. It depends on the channels. If hosts are open to the fans, as long as it's not abusive, it's a good thing. Absolutely, Andrew. I mean, the thing is, they're not abusive, and everybody comes on and has a has a go. Well, not go at John, but they just have a laugh at John and say, look, you know, they just have a laugh and sees a red. And sometimes he doesn't like it, but then, you know, sometimes he just laughs it off. And, you know, it's like, I was doing a preview the other night, and Mason says, oh, what was it? I can't remember what it was now. No, it was something I was doing with Pete. And he says, oh, you should have John Sinclair on to give you the Man United perspective. But that's Mason being Mason and just having a laugh. You know, I mean, Mason will put on John's channel comments and he'll go, oh, I'm not reading that, John. And I'm like, John, it's just fun. It's nothing. He's not mean in a funny way to you, John. He's just joking with you, you know. And it's like, Niall says, think we need to bring back the Four Horsemen and let the judge decide at a later date in the courts. Joking, we love John.
We do love John. We're trying to help him.
Yeah. Good morning to you, Craig. He says Sinclair needs to work out who he supports.
I mean, he knows who he supports. It's just the way he does his channel.
Yeah, it is.
I think part of the problem, well, problem's the wrong word, part of the issue is that he's a big general football fan, where it's Newcastle United, and I'm only interested in other teams if we're playing them. Or they can help us get into the top four, or in previous seasons avoid relegation, or get through to it's like I have no interest in Manchester United or talking about them, except for when we're about to play them and when we've beaten them, or lost or drawn or whatever. And then in between, until the next time we play them, wouldn't bother me if I never spoke about Man United at all, unless I'm with a friend or friends that support Man United. I'll talk then. Otherwise, it wouldn't bother me at all. And it's the same with every other club, where John likes his football and he likes to talk about football in general.
Andrew says, good idea, Niall. BS says, hi, BF8, and he says, I love John. He's more agreeable in a time, monsieur, and the nicest man. Gosh. It's great when you get comments like this. This is why I love doing these shows, because some of the comments are just absolutely brilliant. Coffee says, I saw Paul's rant about John yesterday. It was quite epic. Do you know what? I'm going to have a watch of that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that myself.
I mean, I remember last year, because when I looked after John's channel for a week, when he went on holiday, and I ran his channel for a week, and I remember I just watched back Paul's. He was doing a show on a Thursday night, and because I normally watch his shows back, so I watched this show back, and Paul says, "I've just been on." He says John's channel. He says obviously you must be on holiday now. He says because Tony's on there hosting the fans forum tonight, and Billy said no, he doesn't go till Saturday. But then Paul said. But then I heard Tony saying, "Oh no, he's not away. He doesn't go on holiday till Saturday, but he's on another channel doing the preview for the Newcastle game at Man United. He's on Macy's channel." So I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute, John. You've got a Newcastle channel, but you've gone on a Man United channel doing a preview for the match at the weekend when you're not even away on holiday yet. So why aren't you doing your own channel? And he's like, I can't work him out. He's just, what a guy. And that's what Paul says about him.
Yeah.
But it was because John said, I'll have to cancel me fans forum. And I said, why? He says, because I'm going to have to go on Macy's channel to do the And I said, well, John, I'll step in and do the fans forum. And he was like, all right, okay then. So he done that. And that's where Paul got mixed up, thinking he was on holiday, and then realised when he had listened in that I had said, no, John's still here. He's just on another channel. And he's like, it's strange though, because technically if you're in a channel and you've got a show coming up, if another podcaster from another club wants you on there for a preview, you can say, right, sorry, I've got a show at 7 p.m, but I'm available from, say, 8:30 p.m. That's fine, you know? Like my show Macy that night, I couldn't do it at 8 p.m. because unfortunately Macy was on a late, so she couldn't come on till 8 o'clock. So I said that's fine. Yes, my viewings weren't as great because obviously Toon Review were on at the same time, and I have no problems mentioning the Toon Review on my channel whatsoever. I like Paul, I like Billy, I like Danielle, and I like Alex. They're all great friends. I get on well with each and every one of them.
I've got a new host now.
Yeah, they have, haven't they?
Yeah, is it Jack from Toon TV?
Jack as well, yeah. They're all great people on there. That's the thing. The Toon Review are all great people. And, I ain't got a problem mentioning them whatsoever. And they're an absolute brilliant. And tomorrow, if you're not at the game and you're watching it, if you want to go on the watch along, probably Billy will be doing the watch along because probably Paul will be at the game. But if you don't want to watch Sky's biased commentary, then go and watch Billy. On Toon Review tomorrow, and I'm sure they're doing a watch along. If Billy is watching the show, please let us know. Is there a watch along tomorrow, Billy? If you're watching, I'm sure there will be because they never fail to do a watch along, and they do very well with their watch alongs on the Toon Review. Mason says, "Where's the Man U fan?" He's not on, Mason. Craig says, Paul gives it to him. It's a must watch. Oh, I'll tell you what, Craig, I'll have to watch it. I'm going out this afternoon, but I'll have to definitely watch it.
I mean, we all love John. We all love John, but sometimes people need to be told.
Coffee says, at the start of the run, Paul says, Mr. John Sinclair, wherever you are, and he was on Macy's channel at the same time. Alan says, with Spurs not playing till Monday night, a win tomorrow is massive. It is, Alan, because a win tomorrow puts us above Spurs and Man U.
Puts us third.
And let's just say Spurs going to Everton isn't an easy game because Arsenal went there and got beat.
Yeah, I mean, Everton are...
Everton's in deep shit.
The only thing that's going to save my season for Everton is this FFP thing, because they reckon it's going to be sorted before the end of the season. If that's the case, they can dock them the point and send them down. If they don't get the points docked, I think they'll stay up. I really hate to say that, but I think they will.
I think Everton are deep in it, and I think
they are deep.
I don't think there's a way out. I don't think there's a way out for them. I can't see it, and I think they're going to get the maximum punishment that they can possibly get, and I hope it is.
I mean, they posted £370 million losses, and they wrote 170 million off for COVID. That still leaves them over 100 million over the limit. And they say, they've got other things they can put in. Well, you publish your accounts, you should put it in then beforehand. I can't see how they can wriggle their way out. If they wriggle their way out of this without a points deduction, FFP means nothing.
Thing is, Burnley are watching this situation closely because they are going to be well and truly paid off. Yes, they're going to get promoted this season. They're going to be back in the Premier League, but that's not the point. The point is, they could look at that and say they could sue the Premier League for not sorting this out last season, because what Burnley will say is, well, hang on, we've lost X amount of revenue by not being in the Premier League this season, because had Everton gone down last season, Burnley would have stayed up. So you can see where Burnley would be coming from if they did want to take action against the Premier League, and who would blame them? But here's a question, right? And whether this can be done or not, if anybody in the chat wants to join in with this as well, and you as well, Roly, but now, if there's a points deduction from the Premier League and Everton go down, then when they're in the EFL, can they then impose a points deduction on them for the start of next season in the Championship? Or would that punishment in the Premier League be enough, do you think?
I think that they'd start with they wouldn't start with a clean sheet like all the FFP things have gone. They'd be under EFL rules. And if their reporting and financing is still out of kilter, they'll get punished for the next season, because they're being punished for sort of like last season stroke this season.
Yeah.
So it's a one-off case. It's like, the way I look at it, it's like if you get done for let's say you got done for a bank robbery.
Yeah.
You get done for it, and that punishment happens. But you don't get done for the same crime twice. If you do a
Yes.
second robbery, you get done. You get done there. So I think it would the points deduction and the relegation is a punishment. If the point if it works out that way, then there'll be a fire sale at Everton, and they've only got 2 players worth buying. T-Rex and Anana. I wouldn't touch any of the others with a barge pole. Yeah, I think it's so difficult to think who's going down this season, because normally by this time there'll be one team that's cut adrift. That'll be sort of like 6 or 7 points from safety. Another one will be about 4 points from safety. This season, the bottom club are a point away from safety, and they're only 3 points behind 12th. So it's at the moment, it's any 3 from 9 could go down, which is why this points deduction will be critical for Everton. If they get it, it's almost certainly puts them down.
Yeah, there's a huge game this afternoon.
Even if it was only 3 points, they'd almost certainly put them down.
I mean, there's a huge game this afternoon, Nottingham Forest versus Wolves. I mean, that's a 6-pointer for both sides. That is a big game. But, I mean, on the Everton thing, yeah, they're deep in it. Calvert-Lewin looks like he's on his way to Milan in the summer.
Yeah,
he's being signed for the catwalk. Yeah, he's going on the catwalk. That's where he'll be going in the summer. Let's move on with some comments. Andrew says, I love all the channels. Sometimes shows clash and feel awful having to choose. Do you know what it is, Andrew? It's one of them things, mate. It's hard. It is hard when there's so many going at the same time. But you can always watch them on Catcher.
Yeah, that's what I did. Obviously, I'm on Tony's channel now, and I'll watch Toon Review on Catch Up. I watch John's show, John Sinclair TV on Catch Up. I like Steve Ray's show. I tend to watch that on Catch Up anyway. I very rarely watch it live. So there's some great channels out there. So, just watch them all when you get the chance. It's not like in the old days on TV where you couldn't record anything or watch it back later.
Absolutely, it's all digital now. But Craig says Billy's doing it. Yeah, Billy. Yeah, I know the last time Paul did one, but he wasn't. Well, he couldn't go to the game, was he? So, Gary says Danielle's not been on the Toon Review for a while. Tony. Yeah, I thought she hasn't, but you know, I still class her as Toon Review still, even though she hasn't been on for a while.
But she's not. They're not expecting her to come back anytime soon. That's why they've got the new host Jack on.
Yeah. Mason says, I love Paul's rant about John last night, and he's right. One bloody bit. Absolutely. Andrew, good afternoon. Both says, Gareth, good afternoon to you, Gareth. I hope you're very well. Craig says, I try and catch all the channels live, but a bit hard in Australia time-wise. Yeah, it is, mate. It's crazy, but you can always catch it up. Yeah, absolutely. Is this the John Sinclair derby this Sunday? Says I like coffee. Alan says, I agree, Roly. I think Dyche keeps them up if there's no points reduction. Yeah, absolutely. Dyche is good at that.
Wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong.
Andrew said, I never catch Tony's early shows, Craig, so still asleep. Yeah, Danielle has left the channel for personal reasons. Well, that's fair enough. Alan says, enough getting point off and relegated. Yeah, absolutely. Coffee says, if Everton survive this season and the points deduction doesn't happen, then another club could go down unfairly. You're absolutely right. That's why I think they're pushing it through this season.
Yeah.
I think because they're realising Burnley are looking into the situation. Mason says, John's arch rivals, the boys in blue, play at 12:30. Yeah, they certainly do. Craig says, if they don't do anything to Everton, FFP is dead. You're absolutely spot on. He says, I like the live because I can chat. Yeah, absolutely, Craig. If you're new to the channel, mate, give it a subscribe. That'd be great. Thank you very much. So we're going to look at another player now. Now, another player that's been surprisingly linked with us is this one. He's very familiar with everybody, and that is
Ah,
Joe Gomez of
Gomez.
Liverpool. Now, Gomez he can play centre half. He can also play right back. He's 25, obviously 6'2". Now, he has got a new contract until June 2027. Now, his weaknesses is his error proneness, and we know he's error prone. But now, according to reports, Liverpool don't really want to sell him. That's why they tied him down to a new contract, because they see him as, the stability they need in that defence. And they see him as they see him as one of the stars in that side. They said if Newcastle went in for him, the fee may be high, plus Liverpool might not want to do business because they've just tied him down to a new deal, and that probably makes it a little bit more pricey. For me, I'm not sold on Joe Gomez. I've seen him against Alexander Isak. Isak outstripped him. Should have been given that second goal against Liverpool. For me, he is error prone. I'm not a Gomez fan, in all honesty. I really hope we are not looking at him. And I think, I'm not being funny, if he's just signed a new deal, Liverpool's could have probably won about 50, 60 million plus for him. And if Liverpool think he's the star of their defence for the future, then I'm sorry, let him stay at Liverpool. Roly and anybody in the chat, would you have Joe Gomez?
Well,
And what?
from your little review of the link to him, the bit that gave me the most comfort is when you said that Liverpool want to keep him. They can.
Yeah. They can, absolutely.
I mean, to be honest, I think we're going to, even if we did want him, I'm not saying we do, they'd try and screw us on price because they know we're rivals to them now. And I don't expect us to get anybody from the top clubs at a fair market price. The only one where we might be able to get a fair market value from is Chelsea, because they're going to run into a lot of problems with FFP themselves. The amount they spent, just because they cleared their debt, doesn't stop them from being bound by the FFP rules. So they've got to shed loads of players. Now, everybody knows they've got to shift the players, so they're not going to be able to charge exorbitant prices because people say, well, we won't buy him and you get screwed by FFP. So that's, But I mean, the problem I have with the McTominay link isn't so much the player. It's will Man United do their normal silly buggers with us?
Well, they did with Lingard. They wanted £17 million for him.
With Henderson as well?
Henderson. Do you know what it is? If I was Newcastle, I would say, stuff Man United. We ain't doing business with you. We've tried twice. You've messed us about. Never again. Move on.
I mean, I wouldn't be quite that right. I'd give them the third strike, and if there's someone we wanted, we go try and get them. If we don't, that's 3 times they messed us about, and you don't get them. 3 strikes and you're out. Because saying we're not going to do business with them is it sparks me a little bit of cutting off your nose to spite your face, because if there's a player you really want, you should try and do the business to get them. But if they're going to jerk you around, after a while you've got to say, well, it's like Charlie Brown in that scene where he's kicking that American football and girl takes the ball away just as he's about to kick it, which is what Man United have been doing to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can only do it for so long. I think if the McTominay link is true, they may be wanting to, because they're going to strengthen them in the summer, so they may be willing to let him go, but they can't be jerking us around if they are.
No.
I think we should still try and do business with the other clubs, but I mean, because at the end of the day, once we're completely established in the top 4, we're always challenging for the top 4. Them not selling to us isn't going to make any difference. Last season, last January last year, and in the summer this year, you can sort of understand because they're trying to keep us down. And even this January can understand it for the same reasons. They're trying to keep us out the top four, out of that challenge. But once we're there, there's nothing they can do about it. So it's in their interest to do business with us if they want to do business, if they want to sell players.
Yeah. Andrew says the lives are great for the banter.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that the fact that we were willing to let Dubravka go to them on loan. I think that's, and a lot of people said, "Oh, we shouldn't do business with them." I think, well, that actually just shows that we're playing with to a higher moral standard than they are. And then when it gets to the point where they have to do, they're prepared to do business with us, it's almost like just keeping them at arm's length, but not pissing them off, because we might want to do business with them in the future. And if you've got good relations with the sort of the players and a lot of the, because I'm pretty sure it's the Glaziers that scuppered the deal on both cases. But most clubs, even no matter how much of a rivalry they have at the sort of executive level, tend to have good relations, because at the end of the day, they're all football people. It's the people right at the top that say yay or nay, but all the scouts or the scouting departments will know, because they're always looking up to find out who's available, who's not. All the clubs talk to each other. It's the chairman that are the ones that say yay or nay to the deals, which are more of the problems. So you need to keep that relationship going, because there's going to be a day when we're going to want a player from Manchester United and they're going to be happy to sell. But we don't want to do anything that's going to make them think, well, we don't like doing business with these guys. It's got to be like a good relationship. But their attitude to us at the moment, I mean, they said it when the taker went through, so we don't want anyone to do business with Newcastle. And that's because they see the threat. Now they're realizing the threat, and then they're starting to realize that they can't do anything about that threat except like it. They can do nothing or like it, because it's here and it's not going away. The only way that it goes away is if there's a war against Saudi Arabia and we sanction them.
Yeah, definitely. Andrew says, yeah, life's great for the banter. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Craig
absolutely.
says, already I've subscribed. Tony, thank you very much indeed, Craig. Bia says, Gomez, I'd rather have Festa. Yeah, definitely. Uncle Festa, yeah. And by the way, Bia, I hope you're not referring to Harry Maguire, are you? Because I call him Uncle Festa.
No,
that's threw a curveball into you now, Bia, hasn't it? So you're going to think, oh, shit. Trolls says, hi, Tony and Roly. Hi, Trolls. Hope you're well. Andrew says, I hope City stuff the Scousers. Yeah, don't be just... Even without Holland, I think City have got enough to beat the Scousers anyway.
The other half, the red says, the Rats.
Troll says, we shouldn't go for players owned by the Dirty 60. Will overprice, in my opinion. Now, I understand what you mean there, Trolls, but I'll tell you what, there's one way I'm going to sort of disagree on that comment, and I'll tell you why. The only one I think wouldn't overprice too much with us would be Man City, because when you see a lot of things that's being said about us, like when they wanted to bring the sponsorship in thing, which was led by Leicester City of all teams. Now, talking about the pot calling the kettle. Now, Leicester Stadium is owned by is named King Power, the owner's company. So how they can dictate and say to other people, sorry, you can't have sponsorships from your own owners, then really need to look at that again. But when that vote, but my point is, when that vote was brought out, Man City abstained from it. They didn't want anything to do with it. And there's a lot of things when votes come in against, like, because they don't like our ownership. And if you notice, Man City abstained from these votes. So in some ways, it shows Man City are behind us in some ways.
I wouldn't
So,
necessarily say behind us; they're standing
but
with us.
do you know what I mean? Yeah, standing with us. So I look at it and think maybe they wouldn't be too much of overpriced. They would probably be more openly to do business with us. But the rest of them, I see what you mean. Craig said,
I can see what you mean, but as I said before, you need to have the relationship with them because there's going to be a time really soon where they'll be cutting their off their noses to spite their own face by not doing business with us. I think of the teams that we're challenging with, Manchester United obviously wouldn't sell. Chelsea again wouldn't. Tottenham I don't think would because Daniel Levy's a git anyway. But I think Arsenal will do business with us. They don't seem that sort of club. I obviously, as things stand, we're not going to get their best players because they'll want to stay because of the way that they're doing. But there are players there, like Tierney. I think we may be able to do business with Arsenal because when you hear about all the people trying to stop us getting the takeover, Arsenal were never mentioned. There's Liverpool, Man United, Tottenham were the main ones. We've not gone in for an Arsenal player. I've not heard Arsenal supporters say we shouldn't do business with Newcastle. So of the bigger clubs, I think Man City, I think we wouldn't have any problem getting a reasonable price on Arsenal as well. But at the end of the day, we know that if the price isn't right, we'll walk away.
Yeah, definitely. Craig says, all we have to ask are the ones coming in are better than what we have already, and they'll improve us. Absolutely. He says, I'd rather not give Man U any money to strengthen them. Again, the thing is, you look at these teams, they might not want to sell to us because they see us as a direct rival and a threat now. Coffee said, Man U want a centre-back, but you won't find them linked to Joe Gomez. No, absolutely not. Well, they don't like Liverpool, do they? Craig says, I see what you've done there, Bia. Yeah, the Uncle Festa thing. Yeah, definitely. He'd probably do a better job in centre-half than Gomez. Troll says, I never want to play from Man U ever. That's fine. That's fair enough.
Yeah,
Gary says, I think we dodged a bullet with not getting Lingard. Yeah, definitely did. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, that Forest fan I had on, Dan was a lovely guy. He said, Lingard's great off the pitch with the players, great off the pitch, but other than that, on the pitch he hasn't been, and I see where he's coming from. Trolls agreeing. Did anyone see ESM's interview with Keith Downey? He says, I like coffee. Yeah, we've seen a snippet that he was offered in January, but the club wanted him to stay. So at the end of the day, that's just shows you where the club's loyalties were. But maybe they didn't want to sell him in January because it's getting a replacement in as well. So I think it all depends what happens in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing about that story, there may have been teams in for him, and it could be that his agent would say, I can get you moved to here or to there. And the club wanted to keep him and he didn't want to go. Because we all know that agents are trying to get their players to move. And it's probably because he's not got a new contract offer at the moment. His agents think, they don't want you, let's try and get you a move. The club will turn around. It could be in contract negotiations. Said, we've got clubs he can move to, and he said, well, we want to keep him. He's happy. He's not playing as much as he would have liked, but the majority of that has been down to injury. The guy's obviously been working his socks off in training because you can see how he's changed his game. So he was selfish. He was trying to do it all himself. Now the first thing he does when he gets the ball is look to see where everyone else is. When he's at the edge of the box, more often than not, he's passing rather than trying to beat everybody like he used to. It's going to take a bit of time because it's a real transformation in this game. So it's going to take a bit of time for him to actually get that team player side of his game honed and married well with his attacking flair. Once he does that, we've got one hell of a player on our hands. Not just a team player, one with a real direct threat. again, it's sometimes when players are transitioning, they lose a bit of their strength as they're working on and concentrating on other sides of the game. Once they've got that down, that natural attacking flair will come back, because it's basically, it's almost like if I don't know, at work, you work in one department. When you move to another department, you've got to learn what they do there, and it takes a bit of time. But once you've learned it, you can do it really well, and then add to it with the skills you had from the other thing. It's the same sort of thing. It'll take him and I think the time to judge ASM will be next season. I believe he'll be here next season, because he's had a full. Last season, they allowed him to play his normal game because they had to get out of the shit we were in. This season, the close season, they tried to adapt his game. Then he spent that long chunk out injured, and then he had that long chunk on the bench. We're going to improve the squad in the summer. It's up to him to actually show that he's actually can play how Eddie wants him to, and bring his attacking flair to the game as well. So pre-season will be pivotal for him. If he's still hot and cold in pre-season, as he has been this tail end of the season, there's a chance if a decent offer comes in for him, they'll let him go. If he's showing that he's integrated the team aspect into his game, they won't let him go. He'll get a new contract.
Yeah.
So it's up to him.
The ball's in his court at the end of the day, Roly, and that's all you can say about that. But
I don't think they'll let him go in the summer anyway, because we're trying to improve the squad. If you lose him, you weaken the squad, then you've got to replace him, and it's going to cost as much, if not more, to get a player of an equal quality. So you might as well keep him. Bring in the 5 or 6 players we're going to go. So he's then got to fight for his place, and if he ends up that he's a bench player in January or the following summer, you can let him go if that's what they decide to do.
Yeah,
because we'll have a stronger squad. That our biggest problem for next season, because we're going to be playing in Europe, is that it's not so much the first 15 players we've got; it's the next 10.
You've got to have 2 teams.
Yeah. So we need to get 5 players in, so we've got 20 players that we can rotate with. And then you can play in 4 competitions.
Yeah.
And losing that just makes it harder to get that extra strength that we need.
Alan says, defo about Lingard, he's being poor, he has. Joel says, yeah, should call it the dirty 5, to be honest. Yeah, or the infamous 5. David Knight says, hi David. He says, I've been in the gym. Have I missed much?
Missed loads. Missed loads. You've got to watch it back later.
I'll give you a quick recap, and then if you want to watch it back later, I may just watch it back after the show. But
he's got to watch it back.
Ismail Decore is being linked with us, and he's a young 19-year-old centre-half who can also play right back for France. He plays for Strasbourg, and us, Arsenal, PSG are looking at him. So maybe a one for the future. So we looked at him. Then we looked at a striker called Beto, who plays for Udinese in Italy. He scores 1 and 3 goals. They're looking at it as a replacement for Chris Wood. I think there's better out there than him, in my opinion.
BT.
And also Joe Gomez. We're linked to Joe Gomez as well. And again, that's another one that we were linked to. But again, hopefully we don't go down that road. But I haven't brought another player into it yet. So I've got another player to come up. So I'll show you in a moment. Anyway, I'll just go through some more comments. And then Troll says, with the way Man U treated us, we don't need them at all. Absolutely. Troll says, I'd rather better players from Europe than buy second-hand And players from Man United, yeah, absolutely trolls. And Craig says, 5 minutes till the City Liverpool start. Yeah,
Well, it's actually
it
started.
started. Yeah, because we're behind the comms. I'm just trying to catch
Yeah.
up, Roly. Has there been other players with talent who has not been so good this season that blossomed the next season? Yes. So give ESM some slack, in my opinion. Definitely. We get all the live games here, says Craig. Oh, yeah, because you're in Australia. Yeah, you get everything. Yeah. Brilliant, isn't it? Coffee says, do you think ESM's linked to another club? I think Milan was a factor why he was missing from the squad for some of the games during that period.
I
Maybe,
don't think so.
but we don't
I
know.
don't
But I
think so.
don't know.
I don't think
Garrett,
we're ever going to sell ASM in January because the squad's weak enough as it is. I
Garrett
don't think
says,
we're
no
ever going
matter
to.
what player we get from the so-called six, we'll be held to ransom over the price, and it'll be the way over the value. Absolutely, Alan.
We won't
Gareth,
pay.
sorry. Yeah,
We
you are
won't
right,
pay over the
Gareth. They
value.
will inflate us, though.
Yeah, we won't pay over the value that we believe is fair. Over the next 2 or 3 transfer windows, they'll do that. But once they realise that it doesn't matter whether we buy players from them or not, we're going to be challenging for trophies and titles. They'll welcome our money.
Yeah.
Money
David
talks at the
says,
end.
yeah. David saying, thank you for the recap, guys. Really appreciate that. Fantastic. No other channel would do that. I would definitely take Joe Gomez, but no more than 30 million. The problem is Liverpool want more than 30 million because he's just signed a new deal. So, but yeah.
I think we can get better better for the money.
Well, look what we got with Botman. And the thing is, David, yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you. No, that's no problem. I just think it's just, yeah, I mean, I'll just give you a quick recap and that's absolutely fine. But if you're more than welcome to watch the show afterwards. Now, apparently this next player that I'm going to bring on screen, now, we all know a lot about this player because it's been mentioned. It's mentioned on a regular basis. But apparently in the summer, we are going to go all out to bring him to the club, according to media reports. Now, this is what the media are saying. We are going all out, and this could even break the record of Alexander Isak to bring this guy into the club. So here he is. And yes, it is Moussa Diaby of Leverkusen. So we are going to apparently go out, break the bank to get this guy in the summer. Now, if we get this guy in the summer, that is huge because this guy is brilliant. I really rate this guy highly. I would take him at the drop of a hat. And I mean, Roly, Moussa Diaby, got to be on our rate. He's got to be a summer signing, hasn't he?
Yeah. To be honest, I would probably prioritise him over James Maddison. I think this guy's a cracking player. He's everything we want ASM to be.
Mm-hmm.
A team player, got all the skill in the world, but scores as well and creates. Yeah. I mean, how much do you think we'd have to drop for him? 80 million?
I don't know. I wouldn't know what his price value would be, but I tell you what, it looks like they're all out to get him. That's according to media reports, but again, whether that's true is another matter. But as I say, I mean, his current value, he's 23, but his current value at the moment is 53 million euros. That's what they're estimating. He can play left wing or right wing. 24 games started, 8 goals and 4 assists this season.
Yeah. And that's the sort of output that you want from your wingers. Obviously, Miggy's done well with his 11 goals, but you want something coming from the other side as well. 53 million. Leverkusen, I don't think Leverkusen will take him. I mean, we tried to get him in the summer. I think we're going to be looking around that 70 to 80 million mark to get him.
Well, the reason he didn't want to leave last season was, and I understand Moussa Diaby's reasons, because he could have moved, but he didn't want to harm his chances of getting in the World Cup squad. But he didn't make the World Cup squad. So, so all in all, yes, I can see why he wanted to stay there.
Yeah, he
But,
wanted to play Champions League. That's understandable. And I think it's good that he didn't agitate for a move as well, because that gives you the right sort of, he's got the right sort of temperament.
Mm-hmm. Craig says, to change from when I first started supporting, we only got a radio broadcast of the match of the day when Ozzy was the coach. Oh God, Ozzy Ardiles, yeah. Oh, that man, still can't stand that man. Paqueta says coffee. Wasn't Paqueta, no, Diaby. Diaby and Madison if we get top four, says Craig. Yeah.
Yep.
Troll says would have Diaby, would love Diaby. West Ham go down, and I would go for Paqueta too.
I'm not convinced of Paqueta.
I'm not convinced by him either.
I mean,
he went
I
Italy
know
and
West
didn't
Ham
do
have
it.
been poor, but you'd think that if he's as good as the people are making out, that he would shine in that West Ham team. The only one that's done anything has been Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Everyone else has been poor. I mean, it's like when Bruno came to us, we were poor, and he shone like a beacon, and then everybody gravitated him to moths to the light. You could see the quality with Paqueta. He's not done that.
Yeah.
His career's been sort of checkered, because he was poor in Italy, did well in France, and looked off the pace here. And it's not as if now we're in the business end of the season and he's still not sort of come to the races. And I just think the club aren't interested in him at all. We had the chance to get him. The package wasn't right, and we've moved on.
Yeah, definitely have. Definitely. I'll be proper exciting, says Andrew. If we get him in, I'll be well chuffed, absolutely.
Yeah.
Craig says, doesn't he get on the right Mickey's position? He does, yeah. But it's competition, in it. Alan says, Jesper Karlsson is what I meant to say, not Anderson. Yes, Jesper Karlsson. He plays for AZ Alkmaar. He's a cracking striker, by the way. He's rated at 15 million euros. He's playmaking and high pressing. He's a left winger. That's his strengths, and his weaknesses he's gotten on. So as a winger, he's started 18 out of 19 games this season, scored 6 goals, and has got 4 assists. His accurate passing per game is 80%, not bad at all. I see what you mean, Alan. Yeah, he looks good. Whether it's something we're looking at, I do not know. But again, it's worth a look. Maybe Alexander Isak might have a word with Eddie Howe and say, look, do you know what? My teammate Jesper, have a look at him. Have a look. So who knows? Coffee says, apparently Ten Hag's given the green light for Gonçalo Ramos. So we could take some interest in the player too. We could do, yeah, absolutely. Troll says, Diaby is way better than Miggy, and Miggy is a super sub, would be awesome. Next up, he's already proved that, because when he came off the bench against Wolves, he scored. And maybe he could be the impact player. Who knows? You don't get to play for Brazil if you're no good, says Craig. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but the thing is, you look at Harry Maguire. He normally plays really well for England, but he's shite for Man United. Some people are international players, but not club players.
Troll says Paqueta and Bruno has an insane chemistry. Seem to forget that. Craig says West Ham are shit. They have been this season. Yep. A radio and the pink, says Alan. Yeah, the pink, Alan. I love the pink. I used to wait out there the match day. I remember, going back about the pink, and I used to come out the game at around 10 to 5. And obviously they weren't there at the time, but used to go down stand by the stand the Ronnie Gill stand, the Chronicle stands, and outside St James's Park. And there used to always be a group there. And I used to always go to the same site week in, week out when I used to go to the games. And the guy used to keep saying to everybody, they're not here yet. Well, where are they? It's 5:20. They're not here yet. Oh, I don't know. They must be running late. And then and when the van turned up, it was like you had to move for the van because they were frightened in case the driver was going to get mugged. Because he used to get the papers out and put it down. By the time the paper seller cut the string off the papers, people were grabbing them and said, I want one. And the pinks were like sold out within literally 5 minutes because it was the greatest paper ever going. And it was fantastic. I don't know if you know much about it, Roly, but the pink. So I'll explain the pink to anybody who's not really sure what the pink is. But the pink was a football newspaper. So on the front page, it had the headline of like Newcastle. And then underneath, you had every results from all the divisions, and you had all the tables as well on the front. All the updated tables. Sometimes there was latest results that they couldn't get on because they were still playing at the time when it was being printed. But and it was just a fantastic read, and everybody used to love getting the pink. Do you know much about the pink, Roly, or do you not really know?
Yeah, no, I don't have experience of the pink itself, but it was a thing that was done at all towns that had football clubs that had their version of the pink. So when I was a student in the mid-80s in London, if we go to a game, you come out of the game and you get their version of the pink. Exactly the same sort of layout. You have the first half review, and then as much as the second half as they're able to watch before they had to phone in their report. So yeah, it's always good to read. I mean, in those days, I think I only went to one game at St James's Park. It's Gazza's first game back after we had sold them to Spurs. So I had one there. Thought Man City had just scored. Just a free kick. I think it's the.
I'm going to share this one.
But yeah, it was a Saturday after match tradition, or up and down the country. You get your version of the pink, and I think everybody loved it. Because we didn't have the internet.
Well, I remember getting the pink. I mean, I remember being at that game as well. You know, I'll hang on. I'll just get the bigger picture up for you. Just bear with me. And I remember being at this game as well. This was against Leeds United of all teams. Here we go. There you go. The pink. 4 goals for Mighty Quinn.
Oh, that's the opening day. His debut against Leeds.
Yeah,
the 5-1 win.
In that edition of the pink, Roly. The following week, there was a 3-colour poster of Kevin Dillon.
Oh God, that's a blast from the past. Because I remember that because everyone was there's a boycott because of Gordon McCabe, the chairman. They wanted the board out, and so it wasn't a full house. And then obviously Mickey Quinn started on his road to becoming a legend, or became a legend overnight, I should say, with those 4 goals against Leeds. He had a terrific partnership with Mark McGee up front.
It was only 20 pence back then. That was 1989.
Yeah.
You know, the other good old days. You know, the pink. I mean, that. Then obviously in the 90s, he updated the pink a bit more, and somebody's happy. Oh, somebody's happy in the background there.
No, that's the other half. We're just waiting to see whether VAR get involved, because it looks like they're well offside, but I didn't see the ball through.
Does anybody ever remember this pink if you used to buy it as well? There you go. Picture of Rob Lee. Cartoon impression of Rob Lee. Absolutely fantastic. They were the days, Alan. They were definitely the days, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's on side. It's going to count.
Joel says, I think West Ham was the wrong club for Paqueta. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Bia says, Alvarez, Baka, Diaby, and Turam. Do you know what it is? We are looking at Baka, aren't we?
Yeah, we're looking at all of them.
Yeah, I mean, Baka is, you know, a teammate in the under 21s with Botman. And also, I mean, Alvarez. Do you know what though? I like Alvarez, I really do. But after watching this guy last week live at the Leicester Stadium for France, this guy was outstanding for France under 21s. He controlled that game. Drew a save from James Trafford, a terrific save from James Trafford at that. I would tend to go for him over Alvarez, even though I do like Alvarez. But I think this guy is the future, and I think he's only going to get better. He's only 21. He's going to get better. So Cornier for me, but I wouldn't mind Alvarez either. I wouldn't say no to Alvarez, that's for sure. Diaby, like Madison, will only come if we get top 4. Yeah, absolutely. Troll says, that makes me excited. Viking would be a great transfer window. Yeah. BS says, when we get the Champions League, you reckon we can convince Jeff Hendricks to come back? We're going to find it hard to get rid of him, that's for sure. Alan says, watch a video of Carlson on YouTube, you'll be impressed. I'm going to, Alan, yeah. David says, the pink, I thought that this was kid friendly. We are trying to be child friendly. Joel says, so losing as we upgrade our first 11 with 1 or 2 players, then rest subs, I will be happy. Yeah. Coffee says, Newcastle United have learned that they will have to pay 35 million if they want to sign Milinkovic Savic this summer. According to reports, you know what? 35 million. 35 I'll be all over that. That's a steal.
Yeah, you'd be all over that like a rash.
Craig says, City all over Liverpool. Still no score. Well, there is now because Liverpool have scored. Bia says, I used to walk the corner shop with my dad to buy the pink and come home and watch Noel's house party or Gladiators. Yeah, definitely. Talking about Gladiators, I think, was it Hunter who sadly died yesterday? Troll says, if we give Dummett a new contract, I'm baffled. We need FFP for new players, not the player who just takes up wages. I see where you come from, Trolls. This is exactly what I said on my morning show. But the only other thing I can think of, and this is my opinion on this, if we're giving him a new contract, Paul Dummett, the only reason I can think we're giving him one is because he's a homegrown player, and that is why we're probably going to give him a new deal. That's the only reason, just to make up that quota. Other than that, I'm with you, Trolls. I really don't know, but who knows?
They'll have their reasons, but it would be a bit surprising.
Yeah. There's an article in the Sun saying Newcastle plan to give Man U a guard of honour tomorrow, recognising their Carabao Cup triumph. I can't see that, to be honest. It's the Sun.
Where was that in the Sun?
That newspaper's just a load of shit anyway. Troll says, I really hope they don't deserve it. No. Salah.
No, of course they don't. No one's ever done that before when you've won a cup.
We had to play a weekend team in the final. Liverpool scored. City were poor there, in my opinion. Bloody Scouts, so happy the clause in Wood's contract was triggered before he got injured. You know what? Yeah, because he's out for the season now, isn't he? Troll says, there's no excuses keeping Dummett. We have enough homegrown without him. And Coffee says, more like the Sunderland. Yeah. I mean, so another player I look at as well, and I like the look of him last week. He played for the France under-21s again. Yes, he is a regular first teamer for his club. It's one that I haven't really brought up a lot of, and now I'm looking at the future here. So, So I look at somebody's happy in the background, but yeah. So I look at this as a future player. Well, he's a player for the now, and a player who could come in and do a job. But obviously, competition, this is why you need great competition and you need great strength in that position. Now, this guy here is called Lucas Chevalier, and he is a goalkeeper who plays for Lille. He's got a contract of 2027. He's 21-year-old, France under 21 international keeper. He's 6'4". He's played 22 games a season. He saved 1 out of 2 penalties. He's kept 8 clean sheets in League One. Now he plays for the team, where Botman used to play. He was on loan from Lille to Valenciennes and went back to Lille last season and got instilled as number 1, or took his chance anyway. Now, I look at this and I think he's the player value is like 5.2 million euros. Now, I think it would be a little bit more than that. His strengths are his long shot saving, but he's got no outstanding weaknesses. Now, to me, if you're looking for a long term, or you're looking for a backup, a strong backup, now I would say Dubravka goes in the summer. I would say Darlow definitely leaves in the summer because I think Darlow's enjoying playing first team football and maybe wants to go. Gillespie's out of contract, so he'll be gone in the summer. Now, I would keep Karius, and if anything, I would go all out and get this guy in. Yes, I know the other day, Roly, you said he's a first team player. He might not want to be second choice. But again, you've got to look at it. 1, he knows Botman. 2, I'm sure if he came to us, I'm sure he wouldn't mind being on the bench, because I'll tell you now, it would push Nick Pope even further, because then if anything happened, like Nick Pope got another suspension and he got in and got his chance, Nick Pope may find it hard to get back in the first team. So that's what I'm saying. You need that strong competition. And he pulled off a terrific save last week. Yes, he was beaten 4 times by England, but that wasn't down to his responsibility. It's down to his team. But he pulled off a tremendous save last week against England from, I think, Cameron Archer it was. In the chat, what do you think? Lucas Chevalier, I think he's going to be a top-class keeper in years to come. I think he could be the new France number 1 eventually. I mean, Roly, your thoughts? Would you take Lucas Chevalier?
I mean, I watched the under-21 games on catch up, and he looked a solid keeper. Looked like he's good with his feet as well. And so if Dubravka goes, it'd be good to get into battle for that number 2 spot with Karius and or Darlow, depending on whether he stays or not. I think that'd give us a really strong goalkeeping group, and he'll push Pope. But at the end of the day, I'll still go back to it. It may be the thought of going to a bigger club will be enough to persuade him to give up his starting role to pay number 2. But that's going to be the key to it. He's probably going to want to play.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. I mean, I'm going to bring another player up on screen. I'll just open it up. Right. Because this is the one Trolls is just on about there now. So.
Oh, Kefram.
There we go. Kefram Turam. I mean, brother of Marcus Thuram, who apparently we are doing contract talks with. Supposedly doing contract talks with, if that is to be true, and we will certainly find out on that one if that is true, that we are trying to get him in. But Kefren Turam, now if anybody's not sure, he's 22-year-old, he's 6'3", plays as defensive midfield or midfield centre, ball controls his strengths, he's got no weaknesses. 24 million euro valuation is probably a bit more than that. He's played 23 of 28 games. Well, he started 23 of 28 games. He's been twice in Team of the Week. He's got 2 goals and 4 assists. Kefren Turam, again, a bit like Manu Kone, a terrific player. Either one of them, I would absolutely take, definitely without a shadow of a doubt. Roly, Kefren Turam for you?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we can get a double with his brother as well.
Yeah. Have Liverpool scored again? Oh, it's 1-1.
1-1. Yeah, Cavaranture, yeah. Physically, he fits the mold, being 6'3", because we like a big lad.
Yeah.
Who's he's playing for?
Who? Kefren?
Yeah,
Nice.
They're having a good season as well, if I remember
They are
correctly.
having a terrific season.
Yeah, so the fact that he's holding down that spot obviously bodes well. He's highly regarded. So yeah, yeah, him or Kone. Kone's got better hair, but I'd take either of them.
I don't think it goes on hair though, does it?
No. I mean, hair's overrated anyway.
Hair is overrated. Hair today, gone tomorrow.
I'm gonna say that, but no.
You're going to say that, Roly,
Yeah.
But no, I know what you mean. Troll says, really hope Dubs the traitor goes in summer or see him hang on because we play well to get him out. Yeah. 1-1 says Andrew. Yes, go City, says Trolls. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to wrap up the show there, guys. But it's been a great transfer show. We've talked about quite a few players there. We've had new names linked to the club, and I'm sure by the end of the summer we'll have had about 5,000 linked to the club. Yeah, it's been really great. So, Roly, do you want to let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Paul67.
There we go. So if you want to look for the voice of reason, he's at Paul67 on his Twitter.
I'm thinking I might put up a Twitter handle, the voice of reason.
Yeah, you could do, couldn't you? Absolutely. Definitely. Guys, if you like what you see, then please smash the likes. It does help the channel up the search results, so make sure you smash those likes. Thank you very much if you haven't done so already. Also, if you're brand new at the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so, helps the channel grow, and that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. So this afternoon, I was going to watch some football at home, but I'm actually going out this afternoon. So,
where am I going? Or where am I? Video.
I'm not doing a secret location, but I will be doing a vlog from where I'm going because I'm going to go and watch a local non-league team play this afternoon. So, their game kicks off at 3. It's only like literally 10 minutes drive from home. And so I'm going to go down and watch them. They're playing Ipswich Wanderers today, who are top of the league. The team I'm going to watch is a little team called Mildenhall Town FC. Okay. And they are playing Ipswich Wanderers, who are top of the league. Mildenhall are 5th in the Eastern Counties division. So it's very, very well down the tier. So they're in the Premier Division of it. So yeah, I'm going there, and I'll do some vlogs from there so people can see what it's like in a non-league ground. I've been there before because I used to play darts down there when I visited there for teams when I was playing for a darts team. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing this afternoon. So I'll go and watch Mildenhall Town versus Ipswich Wanderers. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter down there at TonyTooney31. So give me a follow and I'll follow you back. Also, I have the same handle on Twitch as well, so you can follow on Twitch if you're on Twitch. Because the show goes live on Twitch as well. Great show, says Trolls. Thank you very much indeed, thanks, mate. Troll. He says, take care, all. I like coffee. Take care, Tony and Roly. Thank you very much, Trolls. Enjoy the weekend, both. Yeah, thanks, Gareth. Will do, mate. If Bournemouth and Leicester win their games, stay Nottingham Forest lose, they could drop into the bottom 3, lads. Could do, but do you know what it is? I think if the table stays as it is at the end of the season, then Leicester West Ham is the massive game on the last day, and I tell you what,
if I remember correctly, there are quite a few of the bottom sort of 6 or 7 are playing each other on the last day of
Mm.
the season. So
It's
that
going to
could
be
make it
difficult.
really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, guys. But yeah, it's been a great show, and thank you for joining on this Saturday morning, stroke afternoon. If you're watching the rest of the Man City game, enjoy the Man City game. And we're hoping for the Blue Moon to come on and win it, and I'm sure they will. And let's wipe that smile off Jurgen Klopp's face. Nothing gives me greater pleasure than to see no smile on that man's face, because then you don't see his teeth, and it keeps the poachers away. Uh, David says, have a good weekend, everyone. Come on the tune. Absolutely. The tune's going to smash it tomorrow. I'm going to see it 2-1 tomorrow. But I will be back tomorrow with a warm-up show, so keep an eye out for the warm-up show, and then there'll be some sort of match reaction as well on the 3 points when we get the 3 points and we climb above Man United tomorrow night. Because, it's not all about cup final revenge. It's all about the bragging rights and
The 3
beating
points, more
beating the Man
importantly.
U. Absolutely. Because there's only one United, and that's Newcastle United. Because the
And they
future's
don't play
bright,
in
the
red.
future's black and white.
Yeah.
So thank you very much indeed, guys. So it's bye-bye from me.
That's bye for me.
And yeah, enjoy whatever you're doing for the rest of the day. And until then, we'll see you on the next show. Bye-bye for now.
Right.